pretty early, earlier than I usually wake up, and that was by design. I thought I should really get a tight hold on my sleep schedule and see if I can't improve it, because my poor sleep schedule is likely one of the reasons I feel so low energy and why I haven't been creating as much as I should have. Remember, creating things is the goal. So I thought, how about I get my sleep back on track, and I'd like to share how I did that. Having a wind down time before bed, it sounds really childish. Like mom said, no video games after 7 or something, but I said no food or technology after 10:30 and try to hit the pillow at 11. So I stopped eating, I stopped watching my show, I smoked my tobacco pipe on the balcony, and then I brushed my teeth, got rid of that taste, and then I hit the pillow at 11, and yeah, it took longer to fall asleep than it would if I stayed up till 1. But then the other thing I did is that I moved my alarm farther back. It became more like a catcher's mitt as opposed to like a alarm to get me up and active. Because when I wake up at 7:30, which is well before I need to be ready for work, I usually just snooze, and I wanted to avoid snoozing. So early to bed with a wind down period and tolerating tossing and turning for a little bit longer, and then also making my alarm as late as possible. Because what happened was I woke up naturally at around 7 a.m. because I had had enough sleep. 11 to 7 would have been 8, ignoring when I woke up in the grace period. It would have been 9. If I was out at 11 and up at 8, that would have been crazy. The reason I'm telling you this is because I went for a morning walk because I wanted to get the blood pumping, and I also listened to a podcast because I didn't want to be bored. And I could almost hardly focus on the podcast because I had so many ideas going through my head. Like waking up cleanly and getting enough sleep was extremely valuable for me. Now, we're not all early birds. I am. And now I'm performing so well that I'm creating a video for you on this topic. The topic being a loading bar as an analogy for how you wake up in the morning. So let's imagine you at your best, loading bar 100. You at your worst, loading bar 0. Not dead, but like exhausted. Like you're not contributing anything to the world. You should probably go to bed. That's 0. When you wake up in the morning, think for yourself, like what's your loading bar like? Because ideally, you would go to bed at 0, a fully exhausting day, and then you would wake up at 100 and you wouldn't need anything to wake up. But we live in a complicated modern society and we're all our own people. Like when you wake up to your alarm, are you groggy? You're at like 5%, and then maybe, oh, I can't start my day without my coffee. And then you get to maybe like 50%, and then on the drive to work, you're at like 75, but then you're still not at 100 at work. Maybe you would do better at the things you want to do in life if your loading bar was better prepared. So last night I went to bed before I was even at 0. Ideally I would have been at 0, but despite going to work and going to the gym and watching a lot of anime, I wasn't at 0 yet, but hopefully waking up earlier today will fix that. You should wake up with a full loading bar, and I think you should do what it takes to fix that. And maybe you should try my tips. They were pretty easy. I don't think a lot of people can do the morning alarm thing, but if you work from home like I do, you can, and it worked. I think going to bed earlier was the trick though. Keep that stuff in mind. Progress update. I have not been creating the things I would say I would create, but my excuse lately has been that the van counts for that. It's an excuse because I learned recently that that does not count, which is why I wanted to fix my sleep. Now everything makes sense. But the van, it's time to make the van video because I had test 0 of the van as opposed to test 1. It was like something before test 1. We started the installation, there will be a picture on screen, and I was like, oh, we've got installation. I should go camping in this now. So I drove 45 minutes north to an open campsite. I was like, I'm gonna sleep in the van. And it was like 39 degrees and it was very, very cold. And I had a hard time falling asleep despite it being cold because I've been staying up so late lately. I mean, I go up there, it's like my phone's on low battery, I don't have any of the amenities, and I stayed up till like 11 in the bed just like shivering. But I did fall asleep and it worked. So I stayed the night in the van, and thus a vehicle has been turned into a mobile lodging, which triggers the van video. What I'm going to be doing in these morning sessions, as they continue, is producing the van video. I think it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to have a theme from a show I like, and I'm just going to talk about what it took to make the van, and I think it'll be pretty entertaining. Thanks again for being along for the ride. Consider fixing your sleep, consider creating things more. That's it.